Hello everyone, welcome to Exampur. I hope you're doing well. So please do hurry up, join the session, and please do share the session as well. And please do let me know, am I audible and visible? Am I audible and visible? I hope I'm audible as well as visible. I'm audible as well as visible. Yes. Divya, very good evening. Gautam, very good evening. So yes. So in this session, we are going to deal with the fundamental rights. In the last class, we have already been discussed about the Article 16, Clause 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay. And what about the Article 16, Clause 4A and 4B? We didn't discuss about that particular article. So in the today's session, we are going to deal with this the article, continue with this article 16 clause 4. Okay. And after that 16 clause 5 and 6. Okay. So please once please share this session with your friend circle, with your uh, well wishers. Okay. So yes, so let's start this session without any further delay. So we have a polity classes, and in the polity classes we have a fundamental rights. We have a fundamental rights. We have a fundamental rights. So we, I think this is a part 6 class, no? I think this is a part 6. Vivek, very good evening. So simple and one question. Simple one question. Who basically joined my uh, history class recently, in today's history class. Please request to all. Please give some feedback. It may be negative. It may be negative. It will be acceptable. Okay. It may be negative. It will be positive. Okay. No matter. No matter. I will accept positive as well as negative feedback. So please in that particular session. Okay. So Divya, Anil, Gautam, Vivek, and all of these who basically join this session, please do feedback. Please do feedback. At least because this is the first in this platform with respect to the history classes. Okay. Because I was little bit nervous, little bit. Okay. So I will be waiting for your feedback. So fundamental rights, part 6. Yes, this is my comfort zone. And last class we have been discussed about the Article 16 clause 1, basically which talks about the equality of opportunity in terms of appointment and employment. Article 16 clause 2, which basically talks about um, the ground in which we cannot uh, discriminate in terms of providing the opportunity. At the ground are the religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, descent, and residence. 7 ground. Okay. So Article 16 clause 3, which basically exception. Exception in terms of we have already seen that in 16 clause 3 we have a exception in terms of the uh, residence for the reservation on basis of residence. And we have a great example of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu basically provided the 69% of reservation on the basis of reservation. Okay, not in issues, but after watching this session, please uh, do some feedback. Okay, feedback in feedback in terms of uh, feedback maybe it may be in 2 or 3 or 4 lines. Okay, at least 2 lines. 2 lines basically. In 2 lines you express or you basically do some feedback in 2 lines at least. Maybe 3 or beyond 4, but at least 2 lines. Okay. You are thinking about why you are forcing to write in 2 lines. Is there any questions regarding in 2 lines? What is the secret behind between 2 lines? No any secret. So yes, come to the topic. Article 16 clause 3, basically exceptions are there. Tamil Nadu is a very good example. Tamil Nadu, Telangana, who provided the 69%, 69%, and yes, there is Indra Sahni case. No, nothing is nothing action will be there. Yes, but there are some conditions. What are the conditions? The conditions are the Tamil Nadu passed the one act. The act is Tamil Nadu Residence Act 1994. Tamil Nadu Residence Act 1994, and this acts put into the Schedule 9, and any act which put into the Schedule 9, that means no judicial review. Yes, right now we have a provision of judicial review, but the Supreme Court have less power to interfere in in Schedule 9. Their laws which is put it in the Schedule 9. Okay, so this act which is put it in the Schedule 9. So that's why Supreme Court, yes, Supreme Court when did the judicial review, then Supreme Court found that yes, in the extraordinary situations, it may be, because we have already seen in the uh, one case, that is the Indra Sahni case. Yes, there is a reservation in carry forward case. Carry forward case is permissible, and reservation in the ceiling limit of 50% is are there, but in extraordinary circumstances there may be some changes. In extraordinary substance changes are there. So Tamil Nadu, Telangana, which basically came under the extraordinary substances. Okay, so that's why there are very different reservation criteria. 69% of something means the general categories or the other states having a very limited seats in terms of college, in terms of any institutions. So having, I think, 31%, almost 69% for reservations, 31% for any other sections. So this is the all about. But what about the Article 16 Clause 4? Now come to the point. Article 16 Clause 4A. This article comes into the being from the 77th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1995. 77th CAA of 1995. And this article basically talks about the reservation in promotion. Yes, we do not have reservation in promotion because we have a various of judgment are there, because and but this article and or this article or this amendment basically talks about the reservation in promotion, but there are some limitation. What is the limitation? Yes, first you write the reservation reservation in promotion. Reservation in promotion. Okay, but there are some exceptions. Okay, there are some exceptions. What are the exceptions? So exceptions are the, suppose the first is the state is not bound, means it doesn't means state have to give reservation in terms of promotions. It doesn't means. It means if a state feels, if states feels or state find the inadequate representation of the uh, in terms of promotions of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. I only mentioned scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, not OBC. Then state will decide, yes, those caste or those SC/STs may have a reservation in promotions. I mean, it doesn't means, because suppose in prelims you get a statement like state shall state shall shall provide reservation in promotions. Simple, this is statement. It looks like shall means definitely definite. Okay, it doesn't mean definite. It looks like maybe. It is not bound in nature. State is not bound in nature. State simple, if state feels, yes, these classes have not an adequate representation in promotions, the state will decide. If a state will not found, means it doesn't bound in a state. Yes, state have power. State have power, not center. State have power. Okay. So here is the limitation is the state is not bound. Okay. State is not bound. Okay. Are you getting my point? Yes. Now, so this is the one point. Next point is the not next point. That's it. Next article is the Article 16 Clause B. Article 16 Clause B. 4B. 4B. What is this article all about? So this article basically talks reservation regarding on non-creamy. This article basically for the promotion only. Only for the promotion. Only for the promotion. And you are talking about Swami creamy layer. Basically the person's, the household, the person basically. So having the income of annual income of 8 lakh plus. Okay, that is creamy layer. And yes, we will be discussing about that. Okay, in today's session. Okay, so today's we are, I think we touched Article 17, but not completely, because I am discussing the fundamental rights of single article with very comprehensively. You cannot find this content or this lecture anywhere. I written guaranteed. Written. Yes, in fragmented way you can find, but in single place you cannot find. Okay, in single place, but yes, in single place it's in Exampur IAS English medium. So what about the 16 clause 4B? Basically this article comes from the 88th CAA CA 2000. Okay, this basically article comes from the 80th CA 2000. What is Article 16 Clause 4B is all about? Basically, it talks the you have heard about uh, the carry forward rules case. I think you have heard about carry forward rules case. Okay, when you heard about the carry forward rule case, or simple in case of Devasan versus Union of India case. Okay, in Devasan versus Union of India case, 1964, the judgment is the when you cross the ceiling limit of 50%. Suppose there are some examples over there, like in medical colleges they are carry forward rule cases, rules are there, because if suppose in 1 year there are seats of 3% of ST, suppose, let's say, and somehow this seats is not filled by anyhow some reasons, this reservation quota carry forward to the next year. That means 3 plus 3 6%. Again second year same things will be there. This 6% carry forward to the next third year, means 9%. Now STs have a reservation quota of 9%. If ST has a reservation quota of 9%, that means the normal limit or the normal reservation quotas have a 3%, but this is the 9%, triple. Yes, definitely it will cross the ceiling limit of Hindustani case judgment. According to 50% ceiling limits will be there. Yes, but 50% if crossed, then Supreme Court again checked or interfered in Devasan versus Union of India case, and uh, educated that this ceiling limit, if crossed the 50%, it was invalid. Okay, so it is invalid if beyond 50%. But after the Indrasani case, the judgment just we can say went to the backside, means we can say the judgment was completely out of the Devasan case judgment. And in this time that they in the Sani case just adjudicated about that, yes, if there is a ceiling limit of 50%, yes, there is a ceiling limit, but in extraordinary circumstances it may be exceed. For example, we have a Tamil Nadu Residence Act. Okay, this is a very good example. Telangana's having some act. Okay, in Chhattisgarh we have a Dantewada, Bastar. Okay, so there are some extra privileges the government are providing. So yes, 16 clause 4b having this which come into front for front in the 88 CA 2000, and there is a backlog of 50%. There is a backlog. There is a, suppose there is a non-filling 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 seats or vacancies. Uh, the government here said, so the Supreme Court here said that we having a in the carry forward rules case, in case of backlog vacancies, in case of backlog in case of backlog backlog vacancies vacancies in case of backlog vacancies, there should be there should be valid valid and this valid, you just mark this one. Okay. Means the judgment here come forward that yes, if there is a non-filling of seats and there is a backlog vacancies, means suppose 3% are there, next 6%, 9%, 12%, this is valid according to the 88 CA 2000. 88 CA 2000 means it's not a judgment, it's a the parliament actions. Okay, parliament come into the amendment of 88 CA, and under this amendment the article 16.4 clause B was added, and under this judgment, or under this clause, article 16 clause 4B, non-filling of seats, that is in case of backlog vacancies, is considered to be valid. Means now you can exceed 15% plus limit. Okay, but yes, the state feels there is no there is a inadequate representation that in that time. Okay, but in regular basis the government must have to try to fill the reservation quota in the respective year. Okay, so this is the article 16 clause 4. It looks like tough or not? I think this is very easy article. Okay, now come to the one point, creamy layer. For the creamy layer, or before that, I just want to go to the one judgment, that is the Nandan Ramananda committee. One Ramananda committee was appointed first time, and before that Kaka Kalekar committee in 1953, when the government appointed this committee for the to investigate the other backward classes. This is the first committee after the independent India, the Kaka Kalekar committee. I just tried here. Kalekar committee. Kaka Kalekar committee of 1953. This is basically a first committee. First committee for OBC. Okay, OBC. But this time it was not possible to count physically. Yes, you are belongs to some particular class, you belong to institution, not company. Institution, not company. In government institutions, in government. Okay, so this is the first committee, basically belongs to the OBC class. But one committee is very important, that is a uh, just a second. Yes, one committee is very important in terms of Ram Nandan committee. Ram Nandan committee. Ramananda Committee, which basically constituted in 1993 and submitted in the 1993. Submitted report in the 1993, and 1993 is the time, and in the 1993 when National Commission of Backward Classes, backward backward classes are come into the front, or in the with respect to the from the parliament in form of the statutory body. Okay, and in 1993, and this body, in short, we write here NCBC. The This is the statutory body, and in the 102, in the 102 second CAA 2018 is a time when the National Commission of Backward Classes got the constitutional status, got the constitutional status, Okay, sometime I also usually forget this data, this number, but this time in the flow of the writing, just write. Okay, now come to the next, that is a I just want to briefly discuss about the creamy layer briefly, because this topic is not they have a very long term journeys for creamy, not long term journey. Yes, there are some, there actually there are no concept are there in simple creamy layers, non creamy layers. There are some committees are there. We will be discuss about. Okay, when this amendment are there, in that time the article when this body made a constitutional bodies, then articles will be added. Okay, when this body was in the statutory body, no any changes or updation in the articles. But when this body became an constitutional bodies, then there is an article with respect to this NCBC. So we have a article 338B. 338B articles are there. Okay, okay. For the creamy layer concept, we have a different we have a very good judgment in the Sunny case. In the Sunny case, basically is very important for your silly limit of reservation in respect of your OBC's quota, in terms of your creamy layer quotas. Okay, and in terms of who will be creamy layer. Okay, who will be given there? Basically, there are three conditions are there. Yes, I will be discussing it. So I think this is for the OBC regarding. Now come to the creamy layer, because we are discussing about some OBCs regarding points. So first thing, yes, first thing, that is suppose we have a creamy layer. Okay, creamy layer concept, Okay, in 1993. Okay, somewhere it is written 1992, not any issue. Okay, so because 1993 the Indus Valley case came into the front, and in the Sunny case judgment, it was very much clear that yes, we have three conditions. Basically, it is make it gives credit to the in the Sunny case, who basically put it the conditions, three conditions with respect to the creamy layer. Who will be creamy layer? Who will be the creamy layer? Who will not be the creamy layer? Basically, the uh, subcategorization of the OBCs was there. Okay, so in the creamy layer concept, basically the most genesis the genesis to the Indra Sahani case, Sahani case. Okay, So in the Sani case, three conditions put it. What are the three conditions? The three conditions are the first. The first is the on the basis of income. On the basis of income. On the basis of income means if you have a if you yes if you have a uh, mm, annual income of 8 lakh 8 lakh 8 lakh plus, then you are not eligible. This is basically not eligible. Second one. Second one is if you have a property, if you have a status in the society, if you have property, okay, if you have property or status, I think it should be written is property, and third one is the status in the society, in the society. These are the three conditions when creamy layer was decided. Suppose your household income or is the above the 8 lakh, then you if and you are belong to the OBC category, then you if you either you may come under the creamy layer or non-creamy layer. Non-creamy layer basically means their household income was under the 8 lakh. Okay, so this is the in the Sanagi judgment. It's basically a very important judgment for the creamy layer. Okay, for the creamy layer. Now come to the next. Come to the next. Uh, Article 16. Article 16 clause 5. What is Article 16 clause 5? What happens? The reservation, basically reservation in religious institution. What about this? This means that suppose there is a madrasa. Okay, there is a madrasa, and in the madrasa there is a obviously there needs some teachers, some faculties for the madrasa. But who will be the teachers? Who will be the teachers in madrasa? In religious institutions, who will be the teachers? Who will decide? So here, simply what happens? Here is the employment issue. Here is the opportunities. Basically, it basically talks about opportunity. But in the madrasa, there is not any equal opportunity for all, because in the religious institutions there is an opportunity for that particular religion. So here only Muslims categories, Muslim religion can employed under this religious institutions or in particular madrasa. Means here is some exception. Yes, there is some exception. Means if there is any religious institutions, the employment which basically provided by the government, but here the employment which is provided by the religious institutions, and here the work board, work board, who decided? Work board. Have you heard about this one? Work board. I think you have heard about this one. Work board basically who decide the who will have a opportunity to uh, employment in the religious institutions. Okay, so this is the all about the reservation in religious institution. Article 16 clause 5. Okay, in Lakshmikant book, in M Lakshmikant book, you will not find everything in sequence manner. Even you could not find the Article 16 clause 5 or 6, even 6. Yes, but if you uh, make notes in this particular class, because I think last two couple of weeks I has been taking class for the for your pre commence for in the polity. Okay, so don't worry about. So reservation in religious institutions, which is basically a exception in case. Okay, and in the exception, work board who decided that yes, this will be a deciding factor. Now come to the next, that is Article 16 Clause 6. I think you have heard about the Article 15 Clause 6. Basically talks about the Article 16 Clause 6, that is a reservation for EWS quotas, means economical weaker section. But this Article 16 Clause 6 talks about the how many reservation, how much reservation? 10%. 10% of the reservation. This basically talks about the 10% reservation, and Article 16 Clause 5 6 talks about the EWS quotas. The state have duties and responsibility to uh, to include the and to detect the who will be the who will come under the EWS reservation quota. And here the percentage, here the quotas, here the percentage will be there. Means here 10% EWS quota. Okay. So this is all about the Article 16. I think you are thinking about, sir, this polity is very lengthy. No, polity is not very lengthy. Yes, yes, Article, yes, CAA 103 2019. Okay, CAA 103 CA. Okay, 2019. But I'm just taking the class in terms of pre and mains. So that's why this, and in the prelims 90 days grace course, simple, we uh, have been discussing in prelims perspective. Okay, so Jaka, very good evening. So this is the all about. Now come to the point, that is next. You have you heard about the M Nagaraj case? I think, because this case, yes, this case is important, but not much important. For your mains perspective, this case is important because this case basically talks about the I have written some point. I just, yes, I have written some point. Uh, where is, yes, state is not bound. State is not bound. This statement, this point basically came out from the M Nagaraj versus Union of India case. This point, which basically came out the M Nagaraj versus Union of India case, okay, of 2006, okay, of 2006. Okay, now come to the ones very important, that is a uh, affirmative action. Okay, because before starting the Article 17, I just want to go through the affirmative action. What is affirmative action? And yes, affirmative actions may be important for your mains perspective. Yes, it is violating, but in Indra Sahni case, there is some mentions that the uh, reservation in the backlog, basically Article 16 Clause 4B talks about the ceiling limit should be 15% according to Indra Sahni case. But in extraordinary circumstances, it may be exceed. Okay, it may be exceed in extraordinary circumstances. Okay, so this is the all about. Now means there is no any rigid or robust laws or article which talks, which limits the reservation quotas, because yes, there is a 50% reservations. Okay, in the Sani case basically talks about the 50% reservation. But what about the backlog cases? Backlog and the ceiling limit should not exceed 50%. There are some example of Tamil Nadu 69% according to the Tamil Nadu Residence Act of 1984. There is another example of Telangana. There is another example of the uh, other southern states. Okay, and we have the uh, the limitations, the backlog limitation, which basically talks about the Article 16 Clause 4B. Okay, and he basically validated the uh, three breaking the threshold limit of 50% of reservation. So yes, there is no concrete articles or judgments are there, but always there is a some we can say the uh, liberal things are there. Okay, now come to the affirmative action. What is affirmative action? Is affirmative action is good? Affirmative means something the government or state do something for the advancement or the upliftment of the disadvantaged class or the lower class or the lower caste or the OBC class or the SC/ST caste. Okay, so if the government do something for these particular sections, that is a we can say the affirmative action. Okay, now question arises: is affirmative action is good? If you favor, do you favor the affirmative action or not? Yes, there's pros and cons. Okay, there are pros and cons. But if you just go to the affirmative actions, so I think articles before starting the Article 17, I just want to go through the affirmative action. What is affirmative actions? Okay, I can take fundamental rights, only fundamental rights chapter for at least, because this topic, this chapter go to the, I hope, 6, no? This is about 6, and I am on the article almost 17. We have a 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I think every articles, maybe some articles, for example, we have Article 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, this is very small articles, so this is we can complete within 30 or 40 minutes. But apart from this, I think 15 to 20 fundamentals right, which is can go to the class of 15 to 20. Okay, so this is the range 15 20. It may be less, it may be more sometime. So what is affirmative actions? Okay, affirmative actions, now come to the affirmative actions. Basically this portion is comes under the mains portion. Okay, because we are covering pre as well as in the mains perspective. So affirmative action, affirmative action means, in simply we can say the anti-discriminatory action. In simple we can say the changes in social composition. Okay, so in short term or in simple term we can say the anti-discriminatory changes. Okay, or otherwise we can say the changes in social composition. What is social composition? Social composition basically which we apply when there is a division between elites class and the poor class. Then state make affirmative actions to balance or to make some changes in social compositions. Okay, or there is a anti-discriminatory changes. Anti-discriminatory changes, that means if you practice some discriminatory actions, the government or the state make some laws, rules, guidelines, and or some actions in terms of anti-discriminatory changes. Okay, I think this is clear to all. Now come to the next, that is a what happens the in the first time when there was a demands or there was some demands for the backward classes, or what was the time when the first demand for the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes? Yes, I know this data is not very important, but somehow I just want to make clear one thing. The time is 1902 of Sahu IV, the ruler of Maharashtra in that time. 1902 time means the time when the uh, 3 years before of the disintegration of the Bengal, okay, or the partition of Bengal. So 1902, the time when Sahu IV, the ruler of Maharashtra, first taking the organized taking the organized step towards the reservation of backward classes. The date is very important because this is the date when this started. Okay, this started 1902. Okay, the date is the when the first organized reservation for backward classes. First OBC for demand. Okay, the time for the 1931, J. Hutton, basically he was a census commissioner, first listed of scheduled caste in 1936. In 1936, J. Hutton, who basically census commissioner, who first organized the census for scheduled caste, only scheduled caste. Okay, on the basis of on the basis of, but in that time the basis was very harsh, uh, very different in nature, because the criteria the criteria to listed of scheduled caste is the temple entry restriction. First is the temple entry restriction, and the second one is the usually what happened that the Hutton commissions observed that yes, these particular castes uh, did not allow to the temple. On that basis, he come to the point that yes, this basis which basically there are some castes are there on the basis of disallowment to the temple, and on this basis, this was derived. And the second is the uh, untouchabilities, or we can in simple case say untouchability, or in simple proximity, same thing, proximity. So these are two things. Now come to the next, that is the next is the, you have already heard about the M.R. Balaji versus Mysore cases, where 50% of ceiling limit was uh, allowed. So yes, for the SEBC, socially economically backward classes. Okay. Now come to the point, that is when we just analyzed the favor, for the uh, backward classes. Sorry, favor for the affirmative action. The government affirmative action is good or bad? Simple. So affirmative actions. So affirmative action AA. Okay, is good. Is good, but why good? Or simple favor. For favor, there are some point. There's some point. What are the points? The points are the first, 1905 partition of Bengal takes place. Yes, took place. Okay. So what happens? The why there is a need for affirmative action? Because first point is the historical justice. Yes, some classes, some castes, and some classes in very long time, historically very long time, they are discriminated from very historical time of very in very past time. So yes, there is a need for the justice. There is need for the historical justice. So for the historical justice. Okay, historical justice first. Second one is the uh, to prohibit or to eliminate the discriminations. Okay, to eliminate the discriminations. Okay. Second thing. Third thing that is very important, that is a uh, which basically favored the Once statement very very popular, that is the it's not a merely division of labor, rather it is also a division of laborer. Okay, that is also very important. It is also a division of laborer. Okay, laborer. Okay, so that's why it's become very very important. And next is the uh, Sumit, very good evening. Next thing is the uh, in the normal process we cannot fulfill the gap. So in the normal process we can fulfill the gap. That's why we need a affirmative action. So in the normal process is ineffective. Okay, ineffective, ineffective. So that's why we need a concrete actions in terms of affirmative action. Okay, so that is a next point. So there are few points. Now come to the next, that is a one thing. Some particular castes like Dalits or SCs or STs, we can say, always have some categorization of labors like manual scavenging. Manual scavenging, who basically in which the Dalit class or the very disadvantaged class involved in the uh, manual scavenging. So Dalits always involved in the manual scavenging workers classes. Okay, so that is the favor point, because that's why we need affirmative action. So that is a very very and concrete reasons. But what are the against, what are the arguments against the affirmative actions? So the arguments in terms of argument in terms of against, okay, against the affirmative action. So why there are some persons who heavily against for the affirmative actions? Because why there is you need to uh, discuss or write in very balanced manner. First thing is the sense of hostility may be there. Sense of hostility hostility may be there. Okay, may be create. अच्छा, फोटो ये कट गया क्या? कब कट गया? फोटो कट. Please do let me know. Am I audible? Please do let me know. Or am I audible? Or any changes in voice clarities? Okay, fine. So come to the next point. That is the uh, first thing. That is sense of hostility. Second thing, that may create the compromisation of with merit. Compromisation. That means that may compromise with merit and effective persons. Okay, if you just provide the affirmative actions, may it provide the yes, it compromise the merit or efficient persons. Okay, and next is the against for, because in the OBC there are creamy layer, non-creamy layer. Okay, so somehow what happens, the creamy layer, the creamy layer, somehow what happens in the creamy layer, some creamy layers got benefited. Okay, because their involvement in the OBCs. Okay, so uh, creamy layer creamy layer also benefited. That is not good, because creamy layer, that means above the income of the household is above the 8 lakh. Okay, last one is uh, the productivity the productivity of the persons which having advantage of the affirmative actions. So the productivity is going down and down. So the productivity issue are there. So why? So affirmative actions, yes, there's a some points which basically needs for the advancement of the particular class, but there are some favors in point, but there are some arguments against this point. Why this point we have been discussing in this here? Yes. So here there are some connection regarding with this because we have been discussed the article 15, we have been discussed article 16, we have been discussed about article another. So I think this is all about. Okay, now I think you really enjoyed this session. That's it. Yesterday, sorry, tomorrow I will be discussing the next article, that is article 17. That is very important, and uh, I hope you enjoyed. You really enjoyed this particular session. So okay, uh, see you in the next class. That is tomorrow 2 p.m. So forth. Thank you so much, all of you who joined the sessions. And okay, thank you so much. Okay. Sir, class